Chip, trap game is, we hear that a lot, but is there more of an emphasis on a team like this to emphasize not going to sleep and always doing your job? I know you talk about winning the day, but is that something that is a concern with a team like this?
No, we keep the same approach, so it doesn't matter who you're playing. If you're consistent in your approach and what you do, then we anticipate that not being an issue, but we don't overemphasize it depending on who we play, because if you do, you kind of give into that notion. So.
Aaron?
Does Remington remain suspended?
I just got the news, literally just coming off the practice field, so I haven't had a chance to figure out exactly what it is, but we'll send a release out when we change his status. So.
Janelle, we're going to go to the phones. If there are any questions, if you have a question for Coach Kelly, please press *1 on your telephone keypad.
There are no questions at this time.
I'm sorry, Rob.
I've heard Coach Aliotti regarding Michael Clay and teammates as well. You determined him being a glue guy on defense. What does that mean within the context of a football team? Being a glue guy.
That's the first time I've heard that statement. I mean, I guess he's sticky, keeps things together.
He does have a schematic standpoint of play.
No, I mean, I look at Michael as kind of that kid who's just got such a great knowledge of our system. Not only what he does, but how everybody else fits into it. So you'll see Michael, especially with the younger guys, making sure that they get a line in there in the right spots. And, whether that's a glue guy or a coach on the field, he brings that mindset just because he just has a great football mind, and he really, truly understands exactly what we're doing and where not only he's supposed to be, but where everybody else is supposed to be. And then even more importantly, what offenses are trying to do to attack us. And I think he's so great at diagnosing plays that because he's watched so much tape and studied it so much that he's got a great understanding of how our defense is going to stop what exactly they're running.
Jake.
Chip, Avery and Brian each talked to me about how they roomed together freshman year and they're familiar with each other and that helps them on the field. Have you seen a chemistry between those two that's helping them in the defensive backfield?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about housing arrangements per se with most of our guys. So, but they get, our secondary because of what we do things schematically. There's got to be a lot of understanding, especially at the safety spot, because one guy can be down in the coverage, and then the next play, the next guy's down, and who's playing high, who's playing low. There's got to be a great understanding between those guys. Whether they lived together 2 or 3 years ago, I don't think really has any bearing on that. But there's got to be constant communication between our safeties in how they fit and where we're going to be. And when you see some busts in coverage, you may have 2 guys low and nobody's high, and that's a problem. But those guys have to have constant communication in terms of where they are, and that's what I think Brian and Avery really do. And you can throw Eric Dargan in that mix too, because we don't miss a beat when Dargs is in there. So.
Marcus had a huge game running the ball. How much of what you want to do as an offense is predicated on him being able to run the ball?
It's always been predicated on the same thing. It's predicated on what the defense does, because we don't go into a game saying, hey, we want to run the quarterback. We don't have designed quarterback runs where we snap it directly to the quarterback and he's just running it. It's all part of the when our quarterback's taken off, whether it's a scramble play or somebody's covered and they give him an opportunity to take off and run, or whether it's a read play. But we'll play some teams that our quarterback doesn't have a carry, but that's not because we didn't call it. We called the same plays in some games, and the quarterback's forced to run a little bit more. And then in other games, he's not forced to run it. So it's really kind of what the defense dictates in terms of what we're going to do. But the one thing with Marcus is if the defense dictates that he's going to run, he can hurt them. So.
Chip, your defense #1 in the red zone in the nation. What's been working? Why are you guys so successful there?
I think our guys just have a #1, a great understanding of what we do. Real intelligent group of players, and we're really athletic. And when the field starts to get constricted, when you get down there, we've got athletic guys that can cover a lot of space. So it's a combination of really, I think, their intelligence and their athletic ability that allows us to play that high-level defense in the red zone.
Also on defense, 14 interceptions on the season. It's not just coming from the defensive backs, but the linebackers as well. What's working there?
Again, good athletes. They've all got really, really good hands. They've got a good knowledge of the scheme. So they know where they're supposed to be. But when the ball's shown to them, there's a lot of teams that, they got more pass breakups and interceptions, and it's because maybe they don't catch the ball as well. But we've got a bunch of guys that got outstanding hands, and in that group, Bo's got great hands. Kiko's got really, really good hands. Michael Clay's got good hands. Avery obviously's got really good hands. Eric Dargan may have the best hands out of all those guys. But Efo can catch. Efo's a punt returner, kick return guy. Terrence Mitchell can catch. Bunch of guys back there that are real athletic and can catch the football real well.
Molly?
Much like Marcus running the football, is it the same with the way you use DeAnthony, that the defense sort of dictates whether he's catching or running and his yardage?
No, I mean, we have more called runs for DeAnthony. We could scheme it up where DeAnthony's getting the ball, so it's a little bit different between the quarterback and the running back.
If I could ask a couple follow-ups on Michael Clay. Just a veteran guy who's been around, I suppose you'd expect that they'd have a knowledge of the system. But is he?
He's different.
More than
Yeah, but he was like that when he first came in here. I mean, there are guys that understand what's going on, then there are guys that not only understand what's going on with us, but understand what's going on the other side of the ball, where he's, a little bit advanced beyond his time here, and that's what I think makes Michael special. I mean, he's a student of the game, but he's a great student in the classroom. He's everything you want, but he's got a little bit more knowledge than just someone that's been in the system for 4 years, so they understand where they're supposed to be when we call a set defense or we call a set coverage. He can tell you the percentages of what they run out of that formation based on what personnel's in the game. The game of football comes real natural to Michael, which is, it's something that's special. Not everybody has what he has, I think, from a intellectual standpoint in terms of the game.
he said he and Boyette had a kind of a similar connection that way, and it's been an adjustment since John's been out. Has what Michael does become even more valuable to you guys since John went out in that regard?
No, because he's not getting the guys out back lined up. I think Avery and Brian and all those guys do. He's not gonna. It's asking him too much to get those guys, to get everybody on out there lined up. That he's not gonna be able to do his job. He's in charge of the front, and Avery and Brian are in charge of the back end. So.
Rick?
Twice, I think, this year you've had to take points off the board while a touchdown was reviewed, and they said, no, he didn't go in, so you had to run the play again, although the play that wasn't counted, you did score on. Is there anything that can be done about that, or is that a concern to you that that there's not getting the ball set and they're not getting a replay call in quick enough?
I think that's a very intelligent question.
But no.
I think it's a very intelligent question.
Janelle, we're going back to the phone line. Last time, are there any questions for Coach Kelly? Please press *1 if you have a question.
There are no questions.
One, yes, Alex.
Chip, a lot of teams when they're struggling, they seem like just a play or two away from getting out of it. Do you see the same thing from Colorado? Just kind of what are they doing that's successful to you that could be a factor?
Yeah, I think it's like anything. When they're close. When there are times when you look at film that they're close, they made plays. They had 6 or 7 trips into the red zone in their last game, but it's it's a matter of punching it over the line. And I think the difference between good teams and great teams is how you play inside the 20. A lot of teams can move the ball between the 20s, but when you get in there, do you score? And when they get in there, do you stop them? And sometimes it is a play, and there's one play that turns into all of a sudden that things start clicking. So I can't specifically point to what it is, but they have the ability to move the football, and they proved that last week against a real good defense. But it's our job to, especially when we get down there, and we've been good so far, but we got to continue that. If they do get down in the red zone against us, that we need to kind of bow our backs and stop them from putting points on the board. So,
Dirk?
Coach, after the Arizona State win, you said your team doesn't flinch, they don't blink when something goes wrong. Where does that come from?
I think their confidence. They got to understand that one play is not going to define a football game. And that we always want to play the next snap. And we're going to make mistakes, but they play with great effort. And I also think they do a great job from a preparation standpoint of making sure, you may fool them once, but you're not going to fool them twice on defense. We may have a sloppy exchange in the backfield or a miscommunication up front, but that's not going to be a consistent thing that happens. And, no one plays a perfect game, and you can't dwell on what happened in the past. You can learn from it, but you can't dwell on it. And I think our guys are confident that, we got the ability to score points and we got the ability to stop people over the course of 60 minutes. People are going to make plays in every game that you play against you, but it's about always playing the next snap, and I think that's kind of what our mentality is.
Next to last question with Rob.
Regarding Rick's question, regardless of your opinion of those plays, if you have recourse to address things with the conference or whoever if something like that comes up?
I'd like to answer that question, but I can't. So I was told I can never talk about it. So
Okay.
what's that?
We ask you after the season.
They can find you anytime they want to find you, from what I understand. So I learned my lesson a couple years ago. So I can't talk about it. So
Last question.
Their kick returner Mosley, how much of a concern is he?
Okay, thank you.